the image gallery. I showed y'all some of the tonsils already. I mentioned the appendix. Spleen should be easy enough. Remember I told y'all with the lymph nodes, make sure you have that indicator of the anatomical position, all right? So you've got a few of those there. Not really hitting too much on this left side because that should be fairly straightforward. When you bounce over here on the right, notice you have general afferent and general efferent vessel. I want to show you how to deal with that. So with this concept, I'm going to use this little lower area here. But before I go into it, I actually need to come over here to this side. You see here, and also here, those are the two lymphatic ducts. They are connecting to the subclavian vein on either side. I don't care where you are, that lymph is trying to go there. If you were down below, say you were down here in the abdomen, the lymph is moving up to reach the ducts. Y'all see that? If you were in the head and neck, it's coming down to reach the ducts. If you were in this arm, see how it's doing this little funky thing like this? So you'd be moving like this toward the duct. My point is you have to understand where the lymph is trying to go, which is toward the ducts. That's part one to trying to figure out whether it's afferent or efferent. Once we do that, let's come down here to the leg and let's use this lymph node right here. We'll use this one, and then we'll use this one first, then we'll use this one, okay? Everybody see the two nodes I'm talking about? I'm gonna use this vessel right here to show you how that one vessel can be afferent or efferent. You gotta look at the node you're given as the reference. So let's use this node here. By the way, this is a superficial inguinal node. See the deep nodes over here where the muscles are all cut out? All right, that's what I was telling y'all earlier. If we're looking at the lymph in the direction it would move as it moves through this or away, toward the ducts from this node, it would be going this way, right? Because we're in the leg, we're going up. So as we move up, you would have this lymph exit that node. So this would be efferent for this node. Everybody see what I'm saying? But we switch it and say, now, this node, look at what's happening. Same vessel, but what are we doing with the lymph? We're not leaving this node, we're going to it. So if this node is your reference, this is now afferent. See how the node makes a difference? So on that question, if it's on your test, they will give you a reference node. You need to look at that reference node, then you need to look at the vessel and say, hey, if I'm at this node, where am I going? Am I leaving or am I going into the node? Okay? So there's no one universal static answer. That's what I was saying to y'all earlier. This ain't always going to be efferent. It ain't always going to be afferent. You have to look at which node they're giving you to determine it. It's a thought question, to be honest. It's not a lot of thought, but you got to work your way through it. Okay? Next concept I want to show you really quickly here is right there. This sac at the back of the abdomen is called the cisterna chyli. Cisterna chyli. It is a collection point. Any lymph below your diaphragm is collected in this cisterna chyli because 3 trunks drain into it. 1, 2, 3. I'll show you one more time. 1, 2, 3. The 2 on either side are your lumbar trunks. There is the left lumbar, here's the right lumbar trunk. You see the one popping up in the middle? That's the intestine. All 3 trunks enter the cisterna chyli. So let's think about this just for a moment. I didn't really talk a lot about this. The lumbars drain both lower extremities. The intestinal drains most of the abdomen. If you got all 3 trunks, those 3 collectively drain everything below the diaphragm. They're entering the cisterna chyli and there's only one other tube connected to it. You see right there? This tube leaves the cisterna chyli and watch what it does. Zoom out a little bit. Sorry, let me go to this one. I'm trying to find the right one. Sorry, y'all. I'll zoom in on this one. See it right there? Coming out of the cisterna chyli? Track it. See how we're going through the thorax? coming all the way up, and then it wraps down. What leads the cisterna-chyli is the thoracic duct. Remember I told you it runs through the thoracic cavity? That's its course. Again, watch. See it come out of the cisterna-chyli, tracks all the way up. We're going through the thoracic cavity right here. It jogs over to the left. It makes a little button hook right there. That's thoracic duct.
So would that be considered the left thoracic duct?
You can say left lymphatic duct or just thoracic duct.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't have to put, if you say thoracic, you don't have to say left.
Okay.
All right. So I wanted to show you that. That also explains to you, like I said earlier, why the left lymphatic duct does a lot of the heavy lifting. Most lymph is returned through the left lymphatic duct because the cisterna-chyli gets everything from below the diaphragm. All right, trunks. Zoom in again here. With the trunks, you got a lot going on right here around the head and neck, but you have two jugular trunks. These are the jugular veins, on our internal jugular veins on either side. The jugular trunks follow those. So see here, this vertical trunk, following the internal jugular, this is the right jugular trunk. Then over here you have that left internal jugular vein. There's a left jugular trunk right here. See how it comes down into the thoracic duct, meets up with it, right there? So they're actually getting all that lymph from the head and neck too, on the left side of this. Subclavian trunks run along the distribution of the subclavian veins. So see this? Subclavian vein, subclavian trunk, following it. Subclavian vein, subclavian trunk, following it. See that? And look at the subclavian trunk. You see how that also pops into the area? It's kind of meeting up. It doesn't do a great job of showing it, but it is meeting up with the thoracic duct. So you got your two jugular trunks and then your two subclavian trunks as well. I got one more trunk I show. I don't tag or show the right bronchomediastinal. The right bronchomediastinal is under here, but there's a lot going on, so I don't like doing that one. But the left bronchomediastinal, they do a really good job on the model of showing that to you. This is actually an angle. Y'all ever, when you look straight on at something, you may not see everything that's on the side. So with this angle, this picture is doing this. You're looking from the side of the model, slightly angled. There's your thoracic duct right here. But you see this tube right next to it is actually running right alongside the trachea. See the primary bronchus right here? So it's running right along the trachea. That's the left bronchomediastinal trunk. Left bronchomediastinal. Broncho from bronchus, mediastinal from mediastinum. So that's where the term comes from. So I showed you the trunks, I showed you afferent, efferent, all that type of great stuff. Those are things that when I look back at this structures list, if it's on the test, I see it missed more often than it probably should. So I dealt with a few things over there on the right-hand side of that structures list for you, which hopefully after seeing that might clarify some things up.